All right, sorry I had to interrupt you and go to this match there, Ron, but the producers were telling me it's time for this big independent superstars dream match between IPW's Marvelous Mike Sullivan, a member of your own 911 Incorporated, and he's going up against from NWA Wildside, AJ Styles.
Ecstasy.
Oh, and Ecstasy's at ringside. I can't believe I didn't notice that. Excuse me while I mark out for her, Ron. You go ahead and take over the match.
She got the most beautiful, big eyes that I have ever seen.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about her rack, but that's 7.
That's what I was saying. I just didn't want to come straight out and say it.
All right, well, Ron, let's try not to be quite so gimmicky this match, because this is a big match in the IPW versus Wildside feud. Not to mention, this can main event many independent shows all around the country. Not to sound like a wrestling cliche, but it definitely could. Here you see some sportsmanship by these two guys. Very unusual in the IPW versus Wildside feud, but that's how much these guys know and respect the talent and the ability of the individual that they're in the ring with right now.
The sportsmanship and the handshaking is totally uncalled for, and I don't like it. AJ Styles, I'll give the guy credit. He's come into this feud with guns blazing. Right here, he's in the ring with 911 Incorporated Zone Mike Sullivan. And on the 24th of November at the Florida WrestlePlex, he will challenge for the IPW heavyweight title held by one Scoot Andrews.
Yes, he's challenged for that title before and was beaten by Scoot Andrews. And fans, whatever the outcome of this match, AJ Styles will wrestle for that title in another big IPW versus Wildside feud match on the 24th of November right here at the Florida WrestlePlex. Call 727-526-6778 to get your tickets. Not only that, fans, but remember, tonight, Saturday the 17th, right here at the WrestlePlex, there will be a Christian Wrestling Federation show. Bell time is 7 p.m. Be sure to come to both big events here at the WrestlePlex.
The Florida WrestlePlex houses some of the best wrestling action in the entire country and also trains the best talent to come out of Florida in many years. You see Mike Sullivan.
Oh, look at that. That's why you don't do the handshakes,
exactly.
Ron Niemi. That's what you were talking
Exactly. AJ Styles is always thinking. He's the type of guy that'll reel you in with that handshake, and then he'll punch you one right in the mush for your troubles, and he knows better. Look, wow, maybe he doesn't know better. Who's going to start
Look at them trading chops with Mike Sullivan.
Oh.
That's not very smart.
No.
You might as well be trading chops with Ric Flair or Chris Benoit when you start trading chops there with Mike Sullivan. I tell you, many people have been chopped by Mike Sullivan, come back in the dressing room area, bleeding from their chest area, and there AJ Styles just got his head about taken off as he falls under the entranceway here in the WrestlePlex, and AJ Styles is hurting, just like all of Wildside's going to be hurting by the end of this feud with IPW.
Everybody, when they come to IPW Hardcore Wrestling in the Florida WrestlePlex, they turn it way up. They start laying the punches, the kicks, the chops. They're throwing each other all over the building. And Cowhead, who's on 10:10 a.m., hosts the Steel Cage every Saturday from 11 a.m. till noon. He comes to the Florida WrestlePlex with Ass Chin and Putz and all the other lackeys that help him host that show. They come to the WrestlePlex because of talent like Mike Sullivan, because of the Hardcore Giant, and unfortunately, because of NWA Wildside talent like AJ Styles. What do you call that, Ern?
That was some sort of inverted neck breaker maneuver. You see Mike Sullivan in a lot of pain there from that. Mike Sullivan, one of the top wrestlers here in IPW, has only lost a handful of matches here in the last 2 years, but he's having himself a little bit of trouble here with AJ Styles. Not that I don't think he can come back from it, but there's no shame in being on the short end of the stick for a little while in a match against AJ Styles.
I don't want to take anything away from this match, but I got to get in this.
Drop kick.
I got to get in this one other shameless plug. IPW Hardcore Wrestling will be at the Outpost on Saturday, December 1st, directly across the street from the Ice Palace. We're going to be hosting a free show right after the huge U2 concert that night, so you can go there. There's going to be over 15,000 people packed in the Ice Palace, and I guarantee you come to that IPW Hardcore Wrestling show late on Saturday night, December 1st, there's going to be at least 10,000 people going in.
Free event, right, Ron?
Free.
All right, fans, that's your chance to check out the best talent in the state of Florida for free right there at the Outpost on December the 1st after the U2 concert. Be sure to be there. And Mike Sullivan looks like he's trying to get some sort of a Boston Crab type maneuver on AJ Styles, but he's fighting it off and looking into a nice roll up there. Gets only a 2 count, but that could have easily been the end for Mike Sullivan. I'm very glad he was able to kick out.
Where do these guys come up with all of these maneuvers? They got a counter for every counter and then a counter for that. He hits a big spin kick right to the face of Mike Sullivan when it looked like he was going to be dropped for the finish himself. AJ Styles and that crooked Wildside referee in the ring, they got their act together. I'll give him credit. AJ Styles is everything that he was built for. He lived up to everything that I've read on the internet, everything I've heard about this guy. AJ Styles is a talent, but he's no Mike Sullivan.
That's true. Mike Sullivan, as I've said before, a top competitor here. He's beaten Scoot Andrews. He's beaten Rastaman. He's beaten every top contender that has been put in front of him here in the rings in Florida. He's wrestled for the WWF. He's wrestled up in Madison Square Garden. So the pressure of wrestling a guy like AJ Styles is not going to get to Marvelous Mike Sullivan, but that elbow right across his mouth just might.
On November 24th at the WrestlePlex, Mike Sullivan is going to take on the returning superstar from Japan, the independent rookie, the rookie of the year in IPW, Seiji Naki, coming back after over 6 months of having a broken ankle, suffered at the hands of Mike Sullivan. Who's he going to get in the ring with that night on his return match with the man himself, seconded by the hardcore giant Ron Niemi?
Oh, you're going to go to the ring with him for once.
Absolutely. If I could stop getting my clock cleaned by first NWA Florida and then NWA Wildside, I would be at ringside with Mike Sullivan.
Well, you seem to have time for the Shane brothers. You don't have time for Mike Sullivan. What's going on with that?
Anyway, back to the matches.
And here you see AJ Styles. I don't know what maneuver he's going to do here, but it's going to be crazy.
Oh, wow, a sunset flip powerbomb deal off the top rope. That's got to be it for Mike Sullivan.
That was a deal, not a gimmick?
It was actually a sunset flip into a powerbomb deal. Correct.
All right, fans, and I want to mention one more match from that big November to Dismember card, November the 24th. Devin gets one more shot at the IPW TV title, this time with a new champion, Snow. Those two big men are going to tear each other apart on the 24th of November right here at the Florida WrestlePlex.
I don't know what Devin's done to deserve this title shot, but I'm going to go on the line right now. I've challenged Peter Gabriel before. I've come out and I put it on the line. I said, Peter Cetera from Chicago, you want some of me? I'm going to put it on the line right now. Bono, Edge, or any of the other two guys that nobody knows the name of in U2, you want a piece of the hardcore giant Ron Niemi, you come to the Outpost right after your show, and I'll kill all of you. Single-handedly, one at a time, I'll destroy you.
Yeah, you weren't saying that when Richie Sambora was beating your ass a few months ago when Bon Jovi was in town. But right now, we've got to get back to this match. And what does he do? Oh, a nice powerbomb maneuver. AJ Styles going for the Hurricane Rana, but it's reversed by Mike Sullivan. The IPW man is taking back over this match, and I'm very, very glad for that, Ron Niemi, even if he is a part of 911 Incorporated.
Mike Sullivan's going to do what's right. That's why he's a former IPW tag team, hardcore, and heavyweight champion.
He unified the hardcore and heavyweight titles for a while, but there AJ Styles gets his knees up right into the gut of Mike Sullivan, the very well-shaped gut, as Ecstasy has told me on several occasions, but he gets hit there nonetheless, and both men rolling around on the ring. It's going to be whoever gets up first is going to have a big advantage to try to win this match.
You're right. Mike Sullivan did unify the IPW heavyweight and hardcore titles. I believe he beat gonorrhea or syphilis or whatever that lackey's name was that used to work here. He unified the titles, but the truth is IPW Hardcore Wrestling is once again recognizing the hardcore title. Mike Sullivan's
there with
not
his
chasing
slingshot
that.
suplex,
Wow.
Face buster maneuver there by Mike Sullivan. If he could get up right now, he could get the pinfall in this match.
AJ Styles, just roll over and take the pin. Do what's good for you. Count the... Come on, referee.
Oh, he barely gets that shoulder up. If that referee had been counting to 3 the way our own Star Stevens can, despite the boating accident, this match would have been over.
Star Stevens might be the mud baby. He might be somebody that I personally don't care for. But when I talked to Star Stevens after the match, I came up to him and I said, Star, did you see that slow count? What do you think of that, brother? And he said to me, right directly in the eyes, I don't trust them wild side boys one bit, Ronnie.
Oh, and he drops Mike Sullivan right in his face, and it's important to point out Star Stevens used to referee up in NWA Wildside, but he's made it known that his loyalty lies right here with IPW, and he's shown that to be true in the past, as I'm sure he will in the future. But Ron, right now, I wonder if either of these guys are going to get up from the beating that they've been giving each other. You don't see the whole match here, fans. Upwards of 30 minutes this match has been going on right now. Hopefully Mike Sullivan can kick out. Oh, once again, just barely gets his shoulder up. I've got to give to that NWA Wildside referee. He didn't really count any faster for that pin attempt. It may not have been as fast as he should have, but at least he was even right there.
I'll give him credit. He did call it down the middle, and he brought a beautiful pasta dish to the anniversary show the following night.
Oh, yes, he did, with that chicken marsalis. It was very good.
Oh, very, very spicy.
Oh, 3 count by Mike Sullivan right there. IPW 2-0 this week versus NWA Wildside. Ron, you have any comments or anything you want to say before we throw it back to the closing?
NWA Wildside, this is just the beginning of this feud. Naphtali, Mike Sullivan, the hardcore giant, Ron Niemi, and the rest of IPW are coming at you.
All right, Ron, sorry to cut you off, but we've got to go to the closing. Fans, we'll see you right here next week.